Hey guys, Mark Holmes here with Michael Anthony Fitness, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, this doesn't work. It is NFL schedule release day, so sometime today, or excuse me, 8 p.m. today, we're going to have the schedule release. But we're back here doing some work in the good old shop, and we are actually building a behind the sofa table for E2 Blue and his wife. And we're using something I haven't used in quite a while. You know about drilling holes, right? You understand about the concept. You take a drill bit, like let's say a drill bit, okay? You put it in a drill or a drill press and it drills a round hole. Well, I have a machine that drills square holes. Square holes. Yeah, it's a mortise. So what we're doing with these are legs. This is old school type of woodwork. This is not like IKEA where you put in the buttons and the metal piece. This is actually a mortise for our supports for our legs. So this is actually one leg. This will be an opposite leg, and then we'll end up cutting a piece that will be notched to fit into this slot to make it strong. This is old school woodworking, and that's what Michael's over here doing now. Is he's mortising out these holes. Clamp that sucker down. But it's actually cutting out these slots. It's a square drill bit. Go figure. Kind of cool, right? So that's what we're working on right now. So we got to get, this table is going to be like a corner table. So it's going to go behind a L-shaped sofa, and it's going to have 4 sets of outlets that have USB connectors on it. So it's going to be kind of cool. We're actually making it so the top is actually made out of oak, and she wants that stained like a charcoal color. And then the legs are going to be painted white, so it'll give it a kind of contrast. Good morning, Aaron. How are you doing? Good morning. You know, here's the thing, man. I tell you what, they've been playing games with the schedule. This whole thing of basically it's been like peekaboo and teases and everything else. I think this is all NFL drama to keep us, you know, like psyched up for the schedule release tonight. I've heard the Cowboys are going to play New England, the Bears, Redskins, and Giants. In some sense, I would love to play the Redskins first just to have that big... Well, here's my rationale.
Do you want us to make the playoffs?
You know what? I'm going to try not to be superstitious this year.
I will.
Okay.
Dak Prescott is 2-0, losing the first game, making the playoffs. And 1-0, winning the first game and losing and now making the playoffs.
He's got a point there.
I don't want to play Giants either.
But it would be kind of fun to have a kickoff tailgate for the season opener. But we'll have to wait and see it. Hold your ears for a second, guys. I've got to run these pieces on the joiner real quick. We always put, no, last year we played the Carolina Panthers. I got a lot of toys in here, you know that? I got a lot of toys that I don't even use very much. I got a wood lathe over there that used to be in a high school, built, you know, like 73. Although I need a new motor for it, but I tell you what, that sucker weighs about 500 pounds. That mortiser over there that Michael's using, I don't remember the last time I used that. I'll be honest with you. It's been a minute. Oh yeah, you know that's one of the things. My first wife, his mother. My ex-father-in-law collects antique tools and locks. He's got a garage that's like 3 times the size of this. And there's everything in there from like slave shackles to the old big jailhouse locks. And he's got block plates. This is what's amazing because now everything is made by machines, even the machines that I have. Had they had them back in the day, they'd been like, oh my God, that's incredible. But when you think about, like you go to Mount Vernon or you start thinking about the cathedral in Notre Dame, they built that stuff by hand. They didn't have equipment that was, 3 horsepower, stuff like that. Block planes that are like this wide to go ahead and hand make crown molding. So when you go to Mount Vernon, a place like that, that stuff was made by slaves back in the day by hand. It's just amazing to me. But in his garage, rough the ceilings and stuff, he has all these old antique tools that I would love to have. So Michael's got 3 of the 6 legs already done. And he's rolling. Let me rip these down. 4 of them. So what do you think about that tool, Mike? Is that kind of cool? Don't really care, huh? Huh? Oscar the Grouch. I don't know. That was, okay, here's my rationale for that because I think it was a little leak on by Rich Eisen. Because he said to DeMarcus Lawrence last week, are you going to be ready for that flag hoisting in New England? As in, are you going to be ready for the season opener? So that's where we got that one. Brent, hi, you're from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Nah, how you doing? Hello from Dallas-Fort Worth. Well, hello from Northern Virginia. Yeah, we really just don't know. And there's been so many rumors that, well, it could be any number of 16 games. How about that? So that's our tabletop. Saints schedule. That was one of those ones that I heard that Saints were playing them on week 3 too. But again, I don't know. We'll really have to wait and find out. The reality is we got to play whoever we have to play when we have to play them. And if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. So that is what it is. we don't have a battery on here. So this table is a 90-degree table. So we actually are going 36 inches one way and going 66 inches the other way. And it's going to sit behind a sofa. So there'll be an outlet here where you can plug in your cell phone or plug in whatever. You know, it's going to be, I've ordered them from Amazon, but they're actually like desktop 2-prong plug. With 2 USBs, so we're going to put actually 4 of those in here. I don't know how many phones that they have they got to plug up, but hey, talk to E2 Blue on that. See some of the comments in here. See some of the comments in here. Any day now, comments in here. Hey, boo-boo. Comments aren't showing, so let me see if I can help them along. What's up, Eric? Why do I only see... Oh, there we go. Sorry, not Cowboys, laugh out loud. Thumbs up, guys. You live 2 hours from Chicago, and a lot of friends and co-workers are fans of the Bears. Well, who would you guys like to play first? Here's the thing. If Michael Anthony is right in that the only way we're going to win the Super Bowl is to lose the first game, then I would rather it be New England because it's an AFC game, which doesn't hurt you as much as losing an NFC game. Be on the road in New England before it gets cold, get that out of the way, and then get focused on the rest of the season. See y'all in Vegas? Oh yeah, we definitely going to Vegas. Definitely going to Vegas. Let me cut this other piece. Here you go. You want that? So, here's the other piece. I'm going to take these two pieces and we're going to join them together to make one big miter. Can you have my autograph? Really? It's not really worth all that, but if you really want it, sure. Okay. Michael's got all of our legs. He's got legs all cut, which is great. And now we're going to go ahead and get out our biscuit joiner. Another tool I haven't used in a long, long time. So, Mike, who do you want to play the first game?
Someone that's worth losing to.
New England?
I don't care as long as you lose. And not the New York Giants. I don't want the New York Giants.
Oh, Lord. Don't even say that kind of stuff.
I don't want to play because if we're going to lose, you can have a big head.
All right, so.
Oh, no, we're the best team in the NFC.
This is another one of those tools that I don't use very much. It's called a biscuit joiner or a plate joiner. And what it does is, see that little saw bit? Wait. Talk about my Cowboys.
You get one. Dak Prescott, you get one. Prescott is in line for a massive payday after seeing Russell Wilson get his. Executive Vice President Stephen Jones pointing out on 5.3 fan of Wilson and Aaron Rodgers had won. Jones also telling the radio station that there's active discussions now with Prescott and wide receiver Amari Cooper. He did, however, mention anything about Zeke.
Although, here's the thing. We talked about that yesterday, about Dak Prescott getting his deal done. It behooves you to get this done now because quarterback salary is going to be going up and up and up and up and up. So you want to get ahead of the curve. And whether everybody keeps saying that, well, you're not going to be able to win if you pay a quarterback. Here's the no, but here's the way, what you don't seem to understand, though, is everybody's going to get paid. You think Jared Goff's going to take a $20 million deal?
I never said that.
You think, but you think Carson Wentz is? Big Ben, he's up for another one. Russell Wilson didn't say, oh, let me take a team-friendly deal. I want to be highest paid. So everybody's going to be paying
a boatload. I would have paid Dak Prescott 30. More, maybe like 28, 29.
The difference of $2 million is not that much.
Yeah, it is different.
Okay, but here's look.
What player are you going to sacrifice in 2 years?
Huh? You're not going to have to.
Yeah, you.
You can struggle. Hold on. You know what we spent? We spent $26 million last year on dead money for Tony Romo, who didn't play since really 2015. And Des Bryant.
It had nothing to do with that.
It does. Oh. Everybody is crying. No, what it is people just don't want to see him get paid. Nobody was crying and saying the same thing about Russell Wilson. Nobody was crying about Kirk. Oh, I can't believe you're falling into that same
I'm not falling into that. What has the highest paid quarterback done? Got hurt.
It had nothing to with being the highest paid quarterback. Only has to do with when you got paid. Okay.
That's how it's more funny.
It's like this. Okay, let me put it in different terms. All right.
It's crazy to think he deserves 30.
Our house here in Northern Virginia is going to cost a whole lot more than it will in Alabama for the exact same house, same size lot, and everything else. The difference is it's what the market is. It's what the market will bear. It's going to be different in different places. But you can't say, well, you know what? I can get that house in Alabama for $200,000, so that's all I'm going to pay up here in Washington, D.C. It don't work that way. They're going to be like, then you ain't getting the house. You're not getting the house. That's not going to happen because this is what it costs.
Is that not going to go somewhere else? He can go somewhere else.
He's not and you know what? Go through the list of quarterbacks we've had since Troy Aikman that haven't been worth shit. Not worth shit.
I'm just saying, though.
The Quincy Carters, the Chad Hennings, hell, the Drew Bledsoes, hell, even Tony Romo. We ain't done shit. This is a guy, we've had 3 winning seasons. 3 winning seasons in a row. 2 NFC championships. We have dominated our division.
Doesn't mean I'm going to pay him 30.
And look at all these teams out here trying to find quarterbacks, son. They don't grow on trees. All you fools out there think, oh, we can just get anybody. Look at 2015. We had the best offensive line in football. That did not change. Tyron Smith didn't miss time. Did not miss time. You had Des Bryant. You had 3 quarterbacks in there that couldn't bust a grade. Couldn't do jack. And Dak Prescott took a team that was 4-12 with 4 of those games being with Tony Romo and went 13-3. The exact same team. The only difference was
doesn't mean I'm gonna pay him 30. 25 sounds better.
20. When a Kirk Cousins is going to
it doesn't matter what Kirk Cousins is making.
It does.
No, it
okay,
does
you know what? I'll tell you what. Let's say you and what's his man? What used to work with us, the Eagle fan?
I don't remember his name.
Twine.
And
how would you feel if you and Twine were working with me together on one of those Rife jobs, okay? And you're getting $20 an hour and he's getting $30 an hour. And y'all are doing the same thing. How would you feel about that?
I have a job.
Oh, shit. Oh, you a damn liar. You are. My own son lying to me now.
And what's Tom Brady making?
27. His cap hit this year's 27. And guess what? Guess what? His deal's up for renewal too. He will get more money than that.
Then why don't you pay Dak Prescott the same? 27. Look, I'm not saying that he should get bottom basement numbers. But if you want to pay him, I wouldn't pay him 30.
It's all in how you structure it.
27
if
sounds
you
like
end up doing 30, no.
27 sounds like a better number.
It all depends on how you structure it.
27
because you could go through 6 years, $30 million. Because here's the thing: in 6 years, the salary cap's going to go up at least $60 million.
That don't mean nothing.
Oh, Lord.
27 sounds like a better number. If Tom Brady's getting 27, then why not pay after that?
Okay.
I'm not like these.
We're going to agree to disagree because I love you, son. I don't want to be pissed off.
I'm not like the fools that say he should get 12.
Well, at least you're not one of those. But
I'm just saying he should take a more team-friendly number.
Why is it everybody keeps saying that Dak Prescott needs to take a team-friendly? They don't say that about nobody else other than Dak.
Stephen Jones, the one that said that he's taking.
Well, he said the same thing about DeMarcus Lawrence, but DeMarcus Lawrence got paid, didn't he?
He got less than what he asked for.
He still got the highest contract in the NFL.
He got less than what he asked for. He asked for 33.
That's called negotiation.
He got less than what he asked for.
And as the owner of the job, of course you don't want to pay any more than you have to. I want to hold on to that money. If I can get away paying you 50 cents or say you're going to work for food, hell, I'd do that. But the reality is Dak Prescott is a commodity. There's very few of them in the world. And if you end up, and here's the thing, if you let him go, you're going to do one or two things. And here's the thing that you got to understand. All this stuff of he can go someplace else. Understand right now, you have a team that functions with him. Whether you say he is just a bus driver or whatever that situation is, that team is competing and doing well with him. And if you look at, say, Russell Wilson's numbers when they won the Super Bowl were less than any year that Dak Prescott had in yardage. Why? Because they had the #1 rated defense. They had Beast Mode, who was an all-pro running the football. He didn't have to do it. You could say that Russell Wilson was a bus driver when he won. Now, here's what's funny. Now Russell Wilson is getting all kinds of touchdown passes and everything else, right? You know, Russell Wilson, he's a great quarterback. But are they winning Super Bowls right now? Look at freaking Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, when they won the Super Bowl, they had A.J. Hawk and, Clay Matthews and, Deontay Jones and all these big guys. That defense of theirs out there in Lambeau Field, especially when it got cold, ended up making Aaron Rodgers the guy. We always think about the offensive stars. Troy Aikman only had one season of 23 touchdown passes. Every other year was under 20. We forget that we had the #1 defense there. So that's the difference. If we had Seattle's defense with Dak Prescott in 2016, 2017, and 2018, guess what? we would be winning Super Bowls every year too. So this whole thing of saying Dak's not worth it, bullshit. You're talking about a guy who in 3 years has 14 game-winning drives. Russell Wilson in 7 only has 25. Dak Prescott is on schedule to pass that. And as far as Russell Wilson having the most wins in 7 seasons, right now, Dak Prescott is on par with that. So you're talking about him having Russell Wilson numbers at this point in his career.
I still would have paid him 30.
Great picks and
You missed it. That's great, but I would have paid him 30.
He loves bringing those guys.
All right, so I'm going to change the subject because I'm getting passionate. I'm getting pissed here. So check this out. See that? Cuts a little slot. We got a biscuit. Not one you're going to eat for dinner. But you put glue on it, and it swells up. And it goes in that slot, and it lines this up. So how much? Okay. So you say how much for that for you?
37 sounds like a good number.
How much?
27.
Oh, let's say 37.
Forget that. 27 sounds like a good number.
I'm sorry. I can't go below Kirk Cousins.
It don't matter what Kirk Cousins
I'd be happy.
does.
Listen, I would be happy with 28, 29. You know, I'd be happy anything under 30.
Who cares about him?
But I'm not. No, I cannot sleep saying that Kirk Cousins can make more. I do.
Who cares about Kirk
It's right.
Cousins?
It's right. Because Dak Prescott has kicked Kirk Cousins' ass every year. Kirk Cousins is a choke artist.
Who cares about Kirk Cousins?
Oh,
Who cares about him?
Shit. No.
Because
Because listen, you know what's amazing? Russell Wilson will make per game this season. Every game that Russell Wilson plays will be more money than Dak Prescott has made in 3 years in the Dallas Cowboys as their quarterback. Per game. It's time to get that man paid.
Well, that's fine.
You know how long I've had this tool? I just remembered why I bought this tool and when.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, there's the box. I bought this when me and your mother were still married, and Arnold, your grandfather, told me about it. Oh man. Ooh. Sorry guys. My I've got I'm gonna have to go put my knee brace on. I've got a knee that's jacked up. I tore my ACL in high school, in which case they took it out. I have no ACL in that knee, which is okay. I was doing okay with it for years. Played college football, tried to become a decathlete. Oh, we gotta cut these away. This needs to be 66 and that needs to be 36. This other knee, I had a flesh-eating bacteria in it that literally almost killed me.
There's nothing quite as magical as staying.
And so I started favoring the other knee, leaning on it. So what's happened is this knee joint has gotten like this, and bone rubs on bone, which I've gotten used to dealing with. But what happens, as my doctor says, is I'm walking around, I'm fine, all of a sudden it'll just start hurting like crazy. Like one time I woke up in the middle of the night and it just hurt like hell. It's like, how did I hurt it when I was sleeping? But what happens is you get bone spurs, or you get some of the meniscus or the cartilage and stuff, and it just breaks off and it gets wedged between the bones. And it just hurts. He said it's just a piece of pain broke off, is what he calls it. And when it breaks off, until it works its way out of the joint, yeah, disability. I'm self-employed, so there is no disability.
Welcome back to Good Morning Football.
Go ahead and cut that right there. And then the other one on the other end. Ready. There is no disability when you are self-employed like I am. So it is what it is. Okay, so we're 66.
Or 12 was in the 03 draft. Number 11, the 07, 95 draft.
I got to do some calculations here and figure out what who's scores. So this is 3/4.
That's pretty good.
So 3/4.
Let me introduce you to the class of 2000. April 21st, 2000.
I used to keep all these numbers in my head. I should be Dak Prescott's agent. I'd like to get the 10%. Hell, you know what, Dak? I'll do a discount. I'll just take 2%. How's that? Oh boy. It's Grandma calling. I'll go call him inside. Go ahead and get that cup for me real quick. Yeah, you know, well, we have these discussions like this and stuff. We just usually don't have them live on camera together. But, you know, I agree that you have to be smart. Okay, here's the difference, and I'm going to say this too, and it's sad, but here's where you got to look at it. When you're paying a position, you have to look at what is the longevity of the position. And here's the reason why you want to go ahead and pay Zeke now. Zeke Elliott technically has, you have this year and the 5th year option for Zeke, right? You could say, let's wait to pay him.
What if you pay him and then something happens to him?
But understand, here's what you're doing. 27 is the time frame that players go off a cliff when it comes to running backs. So by signing Zeke now, you're taking 2 of those years now and giving him that money and making him happy. You already have him on the chain for, you need to flip it the other way to cut it because it's not going to fit down that way. So you put the turn it. It's just not enough space on the table. No, look. Just turn it. You got more tape. The table works both ways. Right there. Boom. So, how are you supposed to cut it? Pushing the board. Okay, so here's the thing. You're better off paying Zeke now if you talk about a deal like Todd Gurley. Because he's young, if you go ahead and do that deal now, that deal, say a 4-year deal, when he hits 27, you can let him walk. If you wait until the end of next year, now you're talking about him being 29. So you're better off having him getting paid now, short term, for those 4 years while he's still young and probably should still be playing well, than it is waiting.
Also one of the great passing running backs of all.
Why does that one look off? Did that one move?
What was going on?
Get the autographs, so he can be right back to you.
I think I moved on this one. Looks like a little bit off. Let me see the biscuits.
Speaking of your college background, let's go back to 2001.
There's something
The funniest thing in comedy was this Canadian comic named Tom Green. What a great to change the game and wanted to do movies that Peter loves. It's also the beginning of the Great American Lobotomy, known as the Fast and Furious franchise, started with Vin Diesel and Amy Whitney. That's what he did. And then Reese Witherspoon was doing the movie where she goes to Harvard Law, and it was really crazy. But
Great movie.
I like that movie too. I auditioned for the TV pilot, didn't get it. I'm here. Saudi of 2001. Who is the big person? So many people did, obviously, but it was really one of the special times as a football fan when we got Chad Johnson, the guy who first went to Santa Monica College, then went to Oregon State, playing with TJ Gonzalez, Steve Steele.
So, we're going to put some glue on this. We're going to get some long-ass clamps.
Yes, it's really good. I
We're
didn't
going to
know
clamp
what
this
that
sucker.
The 36th pick, yes. It was the casting director. And
All right, so
a wild day.
you want to pay Zeke, get his long-term deal done now, so that way you can get it out of the way that 4 years from now, if he has declined, you can just let him walk. And understand, like DeMarcus Lawrence. Were you mad about DeMarcus Lawrence getting his deal?
Yes, I was. They got 20. So he didn't get the number he wanted.
That's called negotiation. You want it to be somewhere in between the middle.
So what about that question you was asked? What I said if I got a franchise tag?
Yeah, well, you don't know, but you didn't know that beforehand.
No, he said before it was said if he wasn't gonna play the season if he got the franchise tag.
Again, that's called negotiation.
Now I'm saying though, so would it be still said if he got that 20 with the tag?
Here's the thing. The guy has done everything that he's supposed to.
No, I'm not disputing. I'm saying what he said if he would have got the tag as he said before.
No, he said he wouldn't.
He said,
It was a bluff. But what if he wasn't bluffing? All of that was bluff.
That's what I'm saying. What if he really did say he was sick and not get that shoulder work on?
Well, he didn't get the shoulder work on. Now that's the part that you really had to kind of say, shit, let's get this thing done because we need that shoulder fixed. Give me the note. Give me the joint. I must have tilted just a little bit off, and I just want to make sure that I got this thing lined up because I don't want to sand off a bunch of it.
We got the sunny and 40 out, but Steve Smith did the snow angel routine in the end zone.
A little bit off. Okay. All right. Okay, this is where you have these long ass clamps that I don't use very often, but they come in handy when you need them. Hey Mike, grab that.
Did any of you original catches or touchdowns in a single season? You need to know about it.
Santana was doing good.
Yeah, you get 11th wide receiver.
Slide that up under
That's
there.
what he says.
Did you use that to fuel your?
Put it up. Oh, yeah.
I did not use it to fuel me just because.
Put it closer to that edge.
I already have so many things going against it. It's not, they talk about the more when I was drafted. I mean, the first time I was drafted, I was in my locker, going in there.
First time you were drafted. You were drafted twice?
Steve, yes, sir. He said, don't screw this up. And then walked away. I was like, I don't know what to do now. I called my wife. It was a flip phone. I called my wife. I was like, this is what he told me. She said, what do I do? She's like, I don't know. Right? And just stuff like that. It was such an awkward first year. And then my last year, our last meeting of the year.
Change this angle here a little bit so you can see what we're actually doing. So this is the corner table. E2, if you're watching, this is what we're making. So we got our biscuits that are in here that's got this nice and lined up so we don't stand it too much. We take these clamps. Look at this. Look at that joint. Look at that.
Says that he's leaving when Mr. Wilson, I think, was on the elevator. He's gone. Right? It was just a lot of funny, awkward things. I mean, it was not
okay. Now we're going to put clamps from this direction to make sure that we keep it flat.
Me and my wife had my baby girl, Bailey. I mean, the winner before the first game, we only won one game, right? It was a lot of things on the first day of the job or the first year of the job. unprecedented. Just, I wasn't sure what to do.
We did a lot.
Figure it out.
Yeah, we certainly
Still
figured it
figuring
out.
out though.
Yeah.
We have over 1,000 career catches.
What I'm doing is I loosened this one up just a little bit because the corner wasn't exactly lined up. But because this is a triangular shape, the more pressure you put here, the more it's going to pull this one down. So I pulled this one flush. Okay, so now we'll close the joint up on the next go round right here. Boom, boom. And I'm going to tell you, that is going to be as strong as the tree was originally. All right, Mike, if you get them, go ahead and wipe off that extra glue.
Multiples on the table. One is cash. Pre or FHA. One is feeding. So what can you do?
She's saying a whole lot of people.
And what we're going to do is we're going to let this dry.
It can be as simple as push.
I can't really work on the table here. I want this to sit nice and flat until it sets up. But then the next thing we're going to do is, these are our legs that are going to go into this. So these will actually go up underneath it like that. And we'll end up making a piece that will carry up underneath of it to make the apron on it. And because this is such a big piece, the thing you don't have to worry about with furniture that you buy today is wood movement, because it's particle board or it's plywood. Because it's interlaid on top of each other, it doesn't shrink and contract. But when you have real wood, between the heat and humidity of outside, the wood itself will expand and contract. And if you don't allow for that, it will actually tear apart. In fact, I'll tell you what, let me show you something that this still flips me out. We're going to load up the truck with some of that wood that's out front and take it to my parents' house if I wanted to. But let me show you something I built many, many, many years ago that every spring it does something different. Okay, so this table, turn the lights on here. This table I did right here. It's crazy. I ended up taking cherry and I glued it all together and I spun it on the wood lathe. But every year in the wintertime, it cracks right here. What happens then, and when it starts warming up, the wood swells and it closes back up and you don't see it. It's the craziest thing. So you have to allow for that wood movement, and because when I did that, it didn't allow for that wood movement because it's literally, you can see, it's 8 pieces of wood that are glued together. And each of the grains are going in different directions. So that is, it's a pretty piece. It's kind of neat where you see the grains going the opposite direction and stuff on it. But every year it does that same thing. Probably made that about 12 or 14 years ago. So, you know, that's a live and learn. But I've also built some other pieces that I'm kind of really proud of. This table is hickory. And I allowed for the wood movement. This is all solid wood. This is not plywood or anything. It's solid. And you can look at the joints. Let's see, that's a joint. That's a joint. That's a joint. That's a joint. And that's a joint. And that's a joint. And that's just glue. And it's held up for, shoots, this thing, I built this when we first got here, didn't we? So this is 16 years. So that's where it is. So, guys, that's all we're going to do for now. We're going to let that dry. I'm going to load up the truck with some wood with Michael Anthony Fitness, go by my parents' house, and then we'll come back and do some more work in the shop. But as always, guys, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, and subscribing. You got anything to add? Don't pay Dak.
I didn't say I don't pay him, just don't pay him 30.
I say he's going to get 30 for 6 years. $180 million contract. We'll see.